There's a moment in Elden Ring that I don't think people talk enough about. You open a door and the game doesn't explain anything. No cutscene, no quest marker, no voice telling you where to go. You just step outside and suddenly you can see everything. Limgrave stretches out in every direction, there's castles in the distance, a tree you don't quite understand just yet, enemies that can and will absolutely destroy you if you give them a chance, and the game just says, good luck. That moment changed how I look at games, because Elden Ring didn't feel like it was trying to entertain me, it felt like it was trusting me. And when a game does that with its material, it creates a problem. Not because other games are bad, but because after Elden Ring, a lot of them started to feel scared. Scared to let you trust them with your material, scared to be quieter, scared to let the player get lost and decide what they want to do in their own time. So when I say Elden Ring ruined gaming, I don't mean it damaged games or their reputation for other companies, I mean it raised expectations in a way the industry was not ready for. And that's exactly what I want to talk about. When people talk about Elden Ring, which is quite often, they usually say open world. But we've seen open worlds before, plenty of times. What made Elden Ring different was freedom. Not freedom in the look how big the map is way, but freedom in the you don't have to do this or choose this path way. You can walk straight into a main story boss, get absolutely folded, which isn't unlikely, and the game doesn't stop you. It doesn't lower the difficulty, it doesn't give you a hint, it doesn't suggest a side quest, it just lets you leave. And that sounds small, but it's kind of insane. Most games are terrified of you missing content. Elden Ring is comfortable with it. You can walk away from the main path, end up in a random cave, and 6 hours later you realise it's 3 in the morning and you have work tomorrow. And the craziest part? That cave might have more care put into it than entire quest lines in other games, and we know that's true. There are tiny areas you'll forget you even found, and massive ones you'll remember forever, and none of it is mandatory. Even the story respects that freedom. If you want the lore, it's there. If you want to read item descriptions, connect dots, and slowly piece together what this world is, you can. But if you don't, the game does not punish you. There's no NPC pulling you aside to explain everything you just saw, no cutscene telling you how to feel, no pop-ups saying, by the way, this is important. Elden Ring lets you engage with it at the depth you choose. It stops you from feeling like you're being dragged through a product, and that is rare. Elden Ring didn't just feel big, it was big. Pause. By 2025, it had sold over 30 million copies worldwide, and its DLC, Shadow of the Erdtree, sold more than 10 million copies on its own. That's not just success, that's industry shaking. When a game hits numbers like that, every studio notices, every publisher notices, every meeting suddenly has Elden Ring on a slide somewhere. And this is where things start to go wrong. Because a lot of companies didn't ask why Elden Ring worked. They asked what it did. They saw big bosses, they saw difficulty, they saw vague storytelling, they saw the word Souls-like trending. So they copied the surface. The term Souls-like used to mean something. It was about tension, restraint, and risk. Now it often just means hard enemies, a dodge roll, and a stamina bar. Which isn't the same thing. Elden Ring's bosses aren't memorable because they're difficult. They're memorable because they mean something. Their design tells you who they are. Their placement in the world feels intentional. A lot of games copied the health bars, but not the philosophy. And you can feel the difference. You fight a hard boss in another game and it just feels mechanical. Like it was designed to challenge you and not engage you. Like difficulty for difficulty's sake. Mechanics are easy to copy. Meaning isn't. Elden Ring didn't punish you to prove a point. It challenged you because the world demanded it. A lot of games copied the punishment without the world. And that's why some modern games feel hollow after Elden Ring. Not because they're bad games, but because they're imitating confidence instead of earning it. So no, the industry doesn't hate Elden Ring because it exists. It hates it because it exposed how safe things have become. And when you misunderstand why something worked, you don't create the next evolution. You just create an echo. So after all these years, the insane sales, the Game of the Year awards, and the copycats. The real question maybe isn't what Elden Ring did, but so much as what people took from it. Because a lot of studios looked at its success and came away with the wrong idea, and a lot of us can agree with that. They saw difficulty, they saw big bosses, people getting slammed, and thought that's the secret. So suddenly everything needed to be harder, darker, and more punishing. That was never the point. Elden Ring wasn't successful because it was brutal. It was successful because it let you choose how brutal your experience was going to be at your own time. A lot of games copied the surface stuff. You can see it in the boss designs especially. Massive enemies, delayed attacks, flashy one-shots, and half-assed circular arenas. But without the freedom Elden Ring gives you, those fights feel exhausting instead of exciting. In Elden Ring, if a boss annoys you, you leave. In a lot of these newer games, you're just stuck there, slamming your head against it until it clicks or you quit. That's where the copying falls apart. Souls-like works because the world supports the combat, the exploration, the pacing, the option to step away. All of that matters just as much as the fight itself. Strip that away and you're left with difficulty for difficulty's sake, which, as we've spoken about, gets old fast. What's interesting is when games don't try to chase Elden Ring. Something like Phantom Blade Zero that's releasing soon doesn't feel desperate to prove it's hard or punishing. It looks confident, it knows what it is. I don't think Elden Ring ruined gaming. I think it exposed how many games were scared to commit to their own ideas. It showed what happens when a studio goes all in on a vision and doesn't constantly second guess the player. If the industry learns that, we're in a really good place. We get games that feel bold again, games that don't feel designed by committee or company decisions, games that trust their own identity instead of chasing whatever worked the previous year and the previous year. And if they don't, then yeah. Unfortunately, we'll keep seeing watered down imitations that miss the point entirely, but that is not Elden Ring's fault. Elden Ring didn't ruin gaming. It raised the bar, and not everyone knows how to reach it yet. And whether other studios can learn from that or not, at least now we know what's possible. Anyway, enough of that. If you made it here, it genuinely means a lot, and that's more than enough for me. This is my first video, so I just want it to be about something I love. I think my next one could be about a story game, maybe just even more Elden Ring. I guess we'll both find out, so see ya.